I try not to make it like this week will dictate my entire year, but it kind of does. I mean, this is where like I changed my situation as at Q school. Not necessarily this week, but this fall, I guess. But yeah, it's hard not to feel that pressure of like, if I don't play well this week, I gotta wait an entire year to try again.
I don't think a lot of people understand how status works either.
Yeah.
Your average golf fan
Right.
definitely doesn't.
Basically, how you get membership on the tour, you need status to like get in the tournaments. So like Q school is where you earn that status, and then depending on where you finish at Q school is how good your status is as well. So finish fifth at final stage. Like, say you go through first stage, make it through that, make it through second stage, you get fifth at final stage,
Miss like 4 cuts,
and you get PGA Tour status. They give you a card, but it's like, all right, you got to play like the lowest level tournaments, and if you don't play
it's
good,
still good money.
It's still great, but they just seem to make it harder and harder every year. More and more guys playing.
The system is advantageous for the people that are already on the PGA Tour to stay there, and then like if they play bad, they get to go back to the Corn Ferry Tour, which is still a good situation. But if you're on the Corn Ferry Tour and you play bad, you're back to best case PGA Tour Americas, or worst case first stage of Q school.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, you just gotta play good.
Death before.
Yeah, it literally felt like life or death.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I felt it.
Like, if I don't make it through here, like I might be homeless in like a few months.
Oh, shut up.
That's that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I get it, dude. Yeah.
But it wasn't true.
No, I get it. Yeah. It was a tough car ride home last year. It was a somber car ride home from Albuquerque last year.
And then those next couple months, it was like, am I just gonna caddy now for the rest of my life? Like, I don't know if I don't have any money to sign up for tournaments. Like I gotta go work a job half the year. That's why I'm saying if I could just play full time, like that's the dream. I feel like I could. I don't know. Who knows what I could achieve? But it's only 219 in front. It's like 2 yards downhill.
Big deal.
So I'm gonna hit like a 5 iron, even though it's 250. Just gotta land it on the front of the green, somewhere near the front. That's skinny. Yeah, there was only like 1 or 2 tournaments this year where I haven't played before. Yeah, it's actually starting to feel better.
Did you just change your thumb position?
It's just like moving the hand a little forward and having my arms a little more out in front of me.
Okay.
I'd get it kind of back here and then I'd kind of get stuck.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go like this.
Like this,
So it's more so just like handle forward and feel like my arms are like in front of my body.
Yep.
Less like manipulation right now because I know the course. But I just want to see how the ball's reacting on the ground because that kind of dictates what shot you play and kind of how, I don't know, how accessible some of the pin locations are. They try and firm up the greens, especially for this one, just because it makes it so much more difficult. Like the last tournament I had here, greens are pretty soft, so you could just toss it up there and it would kind of stop where it lands. Now you got to judge like the bounce and the run out, so it's just a whole nother factor that when it's soft you don't really have to think about. Like, I definitely have a lot more experience. I think the first time you don't really know what to expect, and sometimes that's good because you don't know how hard of a week it is. Like my first time going to Q school, I did okay actually, just because it was, just felt like another tournament, and you don't have the expectations of like, you know, you don't really expect to get through on the first time. But now it's more so just, you know, control you can control. And I mean, it's a long week, so you realize like it's more of a marathon than a sprint where you got to make a ton of birdies. It's just kind of stay the course and just realize you're gonna have some tough stretches and some good stretches. So when I got done with college, I moved down here actually to Arizona and worked at a course for a few months. And then I just drove out to North Carolina and played in some mini tour events, didn't really do anything. And then I went to Q school down in Florida for Canadian tour, and that was at TPC Sawgrass. And yeah, that was probably my first big event, and I did okay, but I kind of choked at the end and got status, but it wasn't any good. But that was my first experience with Q school, and like feeling the nerves on the last few holes, knowing that like I have a chance to like basically, it's like a job interview, you know, like I have a chance to get on a tour and have a place to play all summer, and you know, feeling those nerves for the first time, I didn't handle it super well. Doubled my last hole, so. But like if you're coming down the last day and you're not nervous, it's probably because you don't have a chance, and you're kind of out of it. Yeah. Which kind of stinks, but that happens too. Good saying. It's like pressure's a privilege. Like
it really
it's kind of
is,
what
like,
you practice for.
Even if you have putt on 18 to get through and miss, at least you had the opportunity to make it. Next time you'll know. Now watch this drive.
That is true, he did say that. Dude, he's a freshman, and he's like, I need to have a team.
Well, it had been 18 years since an Iowan won the pro title at the Waterloo Open, but that changed today. Jewel native Trevor Ullestad hit this par putt at 18 to force a playoff with Ottumwa's Matthew Walker, both at 23 under, and after 3 extra holes in the rain, Ullestad followed Walker's bogey with another par at 18. That putt secured 50 grand and his first professional multi-round championship.
Do it so close to home is great. You know, I've moved away, and to do it so close to home, staying at home, all my family and friends are here, so it's great.
It's just funny, but those tough times is where like I really you build character, and I had to pick myself up, and I basically didn't play golf until like May this year, so my season was basically half as long, and I had the best season of my career so far, and I played in like half as many tournaments, and I just stayed patient. Maybe sometimes you just need to step away for a little bit and just, you know, in the past I probably would have just kept beating my head into the wall. Yeah, and so like the end of last year after Q school, I really had to take like a look in the mirror and be like, what am I doing? Like, I'm miserable right now. And I basically gave up. I didn't give up, but I basically said like, I'm not making that the number one thing in my life anymore. Like, I just can't. Yeah. It's almost like letting go of that those big ambitions and just doing it because I love it.
Thanks, Scott.
Next to drive.
You want to drive, shotgun rider? You're gonna crash.
She would obviously just want to sit on my lap anyway, so I just...
Is that you drove all the way home with her?
No. She has like a little hammock in the back seat.
I know, I remember from the Kirk trip.
The Kirky?
From the Kirk's parents.
Albert Querque.
Oh, it's my tent. It just folds out like this. I can take. So I sleep in it sometimes. I did that at a tournament this summer. It was in Minnesota. I didn't want to pay for a hotel, so I just slept in that thing at a campground.
I'm just addicted to taking pictures now. I'm like Luke.
What, he takes pictures?
Oh yeah, Luke's obsessed.
You got your finger in
My
it.
fingy was in it.
Little loop like every morning. Go like this way. She runs up. And go back. Caddy. Come on. Yeah, it's like 320 yards.
That's a really good drivable par 4, yeah. Bunkers. Hide it.
I'm like riding my bike with a wedge in my hand. And I'll like ride through this neighborhood and there's a hole over there where no one can see me. I'll just sneak out and chip and putt. I just left a wedge out in the desert. I throw it in a bush. And then I forgot about it for like a month and I'm like, wait, I left for the summer and I'm like, I gotta go get that wedge so it doesn't melt all summer.
That rusty banger?
It was so rusty. These are earth runners. So these connect me to the earth's healing energies.
Yep.
So it's got like a copper thing and it runs through this thing. So it's just like walking barefoot, but obviously I would walk barefoot, but there's rocks and stuff and I don't want to scratch up my feet. So I just think it's good to touch some grass.
Living as humans.
It's really good for you. So these are my shoes. I try and wear these as much as I can, especially when I walk around out here. What do you think, Scotty?
She's like, yeah, I walk barefoot too, actually. It's pretty easy.
Just get out of the noise. It's nice and quiet here.
I used to, especially recently, I've been working on that because I would just sit there and watch YouTube videos for like 3 hours. It's like such a waste of time.
I always feel like crap when I'm just sitting there scrolling on my phone.
Yeah, because then it's like, I feel like I'm exhausted. Then I start doing that and then I'm like, wow, it's 11 o'clock. I could have went to bed 2 hours ago and got good sleep. Now I just wasted all this time.
Honestly, I think like as humans too, I think it's good to like get out in nature. Yeah. Because that's like where we belong. Yeah. Not looking into screens all day, artificial light, like get real sunlight.
We also belong in a lot more just calm, silence.
Just peaceful.
Yeah.
Like we're always constantly stimulated with like stressful things, whether it's through like artificial light.
Like me personally,
or, like,
I hate, like this is something that I really do not like that I struggle with, but I struggle with going anywhere without something to entertain me. Like I can't even like go to the bathroom without bringing my phone.
We're all addicted to it.
Yeah. Stimulation.
But I think if you just like get out here or something for a little bit each day, it kind of like
once you get past that part where you're like a little antsy of like needing something, then you're just like, all right, settle in.
It's way more chill.
Yeah.
Instead of just constantly having to think about something or do something.
Yeah, and like that's the other thing too. It's like when you're like if you're especially if you're like yeah, I might move here.
Is that a hot tub?
Is that where? Oh, the bowl. That's my pool, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we were like 15 with our car lights on the practice green just chipping around. I mean, we've been playing golf together for like 15 years or so. So it's like, even before that, I mean, we were younger, but we weren't like really playing all the time back then. I mean, he probably was. I really wasn't until I was like in junior high. But yeah, it's really cool to watch him. I mean, I always knew he was good. I don't know when he really started thinking PGA Tour, but like, I don't know, we're from such a small town. I felt like
those type of big goals never really entered my mind. But I wasn't as gifted at sports or motivated, I don't think, Billy, but to practice as hard as you need to, and he always was, which is so impressive. But yeah, it's really cool to watch him, and it's really cool that so many people care and follow too. Like, so many people reach out and text me, because I think sometimes they might be afraid to ask Trevor, like his scores, because just in case he played bad or something, they'll ask me, and it's just cool to see how many people reach out and care about his score, or even text me. Like, I've had a few texts today, like, tell Trevor good luck. So it's cool. It's cool to see that people care, and it's really cool to watch him achieve his dreams. I mean, and like we talked about that recently too, it's like whether he makes the PGA Tour or not, he's been playing professional golf for 7 years or 6 years or whatever it is, and that's got to be his job for the past 6 years or so. So whether you make it to the tour or not, that's pretty dang cool. And yeah, it's been really, really fun to watch him play and just be there alongside of him while he does it.
Then it'll be like picking something up or doing something, and I just have to like start doing it. No, just let me do it.
Yeah, he does. Especially with those drills.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty confident, but it's golf. Like, you never really know what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm just ready to get started. You know, it's kind of one of those things that you think about for a while, and it's always kind of in the back of your mind all season. Or like, I tried to do my schedule kind of leading up to be peaking this time, and just kind of ready to get going. Kind of a little bit of excitement, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of. I mean, I feel good. I feel confident. So just go do my best. See what happens. Yeah, I still enjoy it. I think I've enjoyed it. It's weird. Once I started like viewing it as like, let's just have fun competing, and then that's when I actually play good and get what I wanted so bad before. When you don't want it as bad, I feel like that's when you're more likely to actually get it. When you don't make it like the number one thing in your life. So
when it's not your identity.
Yeah, when it's not your identity, or like it's so easy to say, but it's hard to like get to a place where you can actually feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm getting closer this year. So, but I could go out and play great next week. I could go out and play bad. But it won't really change who I am as a person. And I think in the past years it kind of did. It would dictate my mood for the next like couple weeks, and it would just not be good for my relationships. And I kind of feel bad about that, but I think it's just try and treat it like another tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's hard because it is. I mean, it's your shot to make it. You know, make your dreams come true. But. Have you heard about Scotty Scheffler's like story with Q School? He had to like get up and down on his last hole at Q School to make it through second stage on the number.
Yeah, Max Homa at Korn Ferry Tour Finals birdied the last 4 holes to get his PGA Tour card.
Scotty Scheffler, if he doesn't get through Q School, maybe he never even makes it to the tour.
Yeah.
Now he's like one of the best players ever.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm sure he wouldn't. He's obviously a stud, but like, dude, like,
you never know.
You never.
Like, I remember Scotty Scheffler's dad in an interview was talking about how he's like, I knew he could compete on the PGA Tour, but I didn't know if he'd get to the Korn Ferry, get through.
Right.
Because it's that hard.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I don't make it through Q School, like, I'm gonna be okay. And I think in past years, it's kind of been like, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I don't get through. Like,
last year.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And I was like super lost, like after last year, and I just felt so much pressure going into the week, and I just like trained super hard, like a month leading up, and like made it my life leading up to it, and then I show up and I'm like already tired.
Yeah. And also, I think you understand now that like even if you don't make it to the PGA Tour, that doesn't mean you weren't good enough to make it to the PGA Tour. Yeah. There are like thousands of players that are good enough to play on the PGA Tour, at least 1,000 that are good enough that could easily compete to make cuts on the PGA Tour that will never sniff the PGA Tour. Just because it's so hard to get to that level.
Yeah. But it should be hard, right? Because it's so
It
cool.
should be hard.
Yeah, like
I think it should be a little easier, but
yeah, but I mean
that's Jay Monahan's fault.
To be on the PGA Tour and like live your dream like that.
Yeah.
It's like it should be hard. If it was easy, like it wouldn't be that cool, right? So
yeah,
I think it's more so just embracing that. I mean, the fact that I grew up in Jewel, Iowa, and I have a chance to like earn stat, like a legit chance.
Yeah.
To like
legit
do something in this game.
Yeah. If you don't have a legit chance, let's just not go.
Yeah. But it's like I think this year was kind of validation that like I'm not silly for trying this.
Oh, dude.
And like in past years, I've kind of felt like that as like imposter stuff. Like,
yeah, I understand.
Because you're like not seeing any results, and you're like, why? Like, am I even supposed to be doing? Like, am I good enough for this? And like all the doubts creep in, and like it's unavoidable. But
yeah,
when you like kind of let go of like making it the biggest thing in your life, like those doubts are a little, like being okay with whatever happens, basically.
Exactly.
It was a grind. It was like a 6-hour round, and it was probably close to 110 today. But yeah, I just got off to a really bad start. I hit my first tee shot in the water and made a triple. But I birdied the next 2 holes and kind of hung in there, but just didn't really ever find it after that. And I think there was just kind of a little thing in my setup and never really felt comfortable out there. Never really got anything going. So, but we're shot 2 over. And I think I'm 4 shots out of the number right now. Not that it's still so much golf left. That's the thing. We still have 3 more rounds. So just kind of chip away and hopefully figure something out tomorrow with my setup. And yeah, there's so much golf left. So it's definitely not time to panic or anything. But yeah, I would have liked to gotten off to a better start today. But it is what it is. So I felt better, I'm going to be honest. But I mean, yeah, tomorrow's a new day. Golf's a weird game. I mean, you can play bad one day and come back tomorrow, and it could be completely different. So hopefully just go out there and give it my best shot and just try and play as loose as I can and just go do the best I can. Hopefully it turns around. So, but yeah.
You can just make smash burgers on there.
So you know it's cooked to the perfect temperature every time, and you can just put it in there and take it out and sear it whenever you want after a meal.
Really?
Talking about the sous vide jar?
Yeah. My mom doesn't know what it is either.
Yeah, my dad's like obsessed with those things.
I never heard of it either.
You can also cook like sweet corn in it, and you can like, because you have to vacuum seal whatever you put in there, you can like marinate it. So he'll do sweet corn and just like load up and vacuum seal with butter in it, so it's like melted into the sweet corn.
Oh, wow.
It's insane.
Oh.
Those things are fast. I know. Yeah, what did we look at on the Cybertruck? 0 to 60 and 2.9. That's crazy, and those things are huge.
I've been in the South Florida.
Superstition Mountain and someone pulls it in a Tesla and I like didn't know how to get in. He just like dropped it off and just like I felt so dumb.
That is
Someone
a
had to like
horrible
come
feeling.
up and like show me how to do it.
Yeah.
So many other guys.
It is a horrible feeling. But, man.
They definitely look like the Back to the Future type.
Yeah. Yeah, they
You
do.
know.
Especially the Cybertruck.
So how do they, oh, I've never even seen them open. Does it come up like that hatch on the DeLorean or is it like a
Yeah.
regular door?
Oh, they had regular doors.
They have regular doors, but then some of them